to this virtual session about the future of revenue management. First, I would like to thank our host at T2RL for organizing this event and providing Amadeus with this opportunity. During the next 20 minutes, we will be discussing how airlines are leveraging new technology to better adapt to the new market dynamics, how our partner airlines have been successfully piloting dynamic pricing technology, proving that this technology works with the current airline ecosystem, and that we are seeing promising revenue uplifts. And last, how we've adapted Amadeus revenue management forecast model, leading to 30% increase in demand forecast accuracy and an estimated 1% revenue uplift. The last 5 minutes of this session will be open for question and answer. You can use the swap card chat function to post your questions during this presentation, and I will be taking them at the end. My name is Benjamin, and I'm in charge of offer optimization at Amadeus. We cannot ignore the context airlines have been facing in the past couple of years. Already before the sanitary crisis, airlines were evolving in an always more dynamic world, influenced by the world economy, politics, and ecology. This crisis has strengthened some of those aspects. The world economy stopped during weeks, sometimes months, and consequently, airlines had to stop their operation. As the business is picking up, new rules are being put in place to respect imposed sanitary conditions. Sanitary passes and COVID tests are made mandatory for international travelers. Borders are reopening. Quarantine are being imposed. And last, even though more and more events are being planned, confirmed, happening, there's always an uncertainty whether people will be attending or not. Think about the Japanese Olympic Games or the last Soccer Euro Cup. All those factors are bringing incremental challenges to the activities of the airline pricing and revenue management department. How to forecast the future under those conditions? Months of canceled flights have left holes in the historical database. Customer bookings, cancellation pattern, willingness to travel, willingness to pay have abruptly and significantly changed from the pre-pandemic levels. So there exists significant uncertainty about future customer demand, and using the existing historical database may no longer be representative. This leaves big doubt on how potential travelers are taking their booking decisions. And still, more than ever, airlines need to ensure they use their assets in the most optimal way. And during challenging times, we need to go back and answer to basic questions, which are for airlines commercial team: where to fly my aircraft, when to fly, what product to offer, and at what price. On the first two questions, my colleagues from SkySuite, Amadeus Network Planning Solutions, have been working hard to provide innovative solutions adapted to the new norm, with, for instance, the capability to compute from scratch new schedules, a capability sometimes referred to as clean sheet scheduling. Today, I'd like to focus on the opportunity raised in the last two questions, focusing on the airline offers and their prices. A couple of examples we've been focusing on. Talking about network planning. Schedules are the core element of the airline offering. They are more dynamic than ever and can no longer be considered as static inputs for revenue management and pricing. This creates a massive opportunity to introduce more synergies between systems and processes in revenue management and network planning. Consistency between customer choice model, bringing closer processes which have been historically split. As well, with airlines having less available manpower, there's a need for simplified processes and more automation. I'll come back later to give some concrete results on this one. I'd like to spend the next few minutes on a technology which is ready now and revolutionizing the airline revenue management and pricing. This is going to be the major shift of the next 5 to 10 years, as O&D revenue management has been in the past couple of decades. To illustrate this, I'd like to draw a parallel with what happened in another industry. It's not about moving planes, it's about driving cars. In a matter of a few years, the way human beings are managing their travels by car has massively changed and improved. I come from a small town in the north of France, and every summer with my family, we were going to the south of France. I recall my dad planning our 1,100-kilometer trip using paper maps and getting some insight from a company called Bison Futé. This state company was gathering historical data from past years and providing high-level guidance on which days not to travel. The state company was pretty helpful to avoid hours of traffic jams. And instead of a 20-hour-long drive, we were spending maybe 15 hours in the car. But still, we were caught in some unexpected traffic jams. Now, last summer, I had to take the same journey. And I realized how much technology has changed the overall experience. Paper maps and Bison Futé have been replaced by GPS navigation software, the likes of Waze, Google Maps. There have been 3 main upgrades to me. Several major technology shifts happened. GPS and smartphone have been made available to all of us. The quality of static and historical data drastically improved, including information on the state of roads, for instance. Are they closed, open? And even better, you get access to real-time data, which are helping you to avoid traffic jams as they happen on the road due to unexpected events such as car accidents. In the end, the journey took less than 10 hours. So from 20 hours, the technology of the 90s gave a 25% improvement, and the more recent technology brought another 25%. That's what we have in front of us in the airline revenue management with dynamic pricing. Price dynamicity has been, for a few years now, a strong area of focus for airlines. Prices are already optimized in our industry with the opening and closing of predefined price points. The optimization is achieved with offline processes in airline revenue management and executed live in the airline inventory system with the availability of booking classes. Amadeus dynamic offer pricing goes far beyond the current capabilities. It offers the capability to determine for each shopping session the optimal price regardless of the file fare, and by taking into account new information, new data. It's not only about continuous pricing, the value is much bigger. And as for the GPS software, this solution is enabled by the use of new technology. Dynamic prices are computed using advanced AI-driven customer choice models. They are deployed massively behind all relevant sales channels, leveraging native cloud technology. Massive amount of data is being added to complement the more traditional revenue management optimization. Historical bookings and market data are used to fuel the customer choice models and assess what are the most impactful parameters when it comes to purchase decisions. Live data on events and fluctuating market conditions, such as competition prices, are used in real time to compute the optimal price. And this optimal price is then cascaded in the entire airline IT ecosystem to ensure consistency at the time of shopping, booking, and servicing. This is what we've been able to demonstrate in the proof of concepts we ran during the past few months. In addition, we are also seeing some very promising revenue uplifts, which need to be confirmed as traffic gets back to normal. Let's take a couple of examples on how dynamic pricing is yielding incremental revenues to airlines. A person is willing to travel for 10 days from Germany to Singapore and is triggering a shopping request on his or her preferred online travel agency. 4 airlines are in competition and offering various prices and offers. Airline C, like Charlie, is using dynamic pricing. It has the best non-stop product, yet its price is not the most expensive. The customer choice model of Amadeus Air dynamic pricing will recommend an optimal price by balancing the conversion probability and the price. In this case, based on similar competitive landscapes observed in the past, based on the quality of the product and the brand of this airline, the engine recommends to increase the price by 28 euros. This price increase is kept quite reasonable, less than 4%. As the contextual information, such as the duration, enable to segment the demand towards leisure travel. So, as you can see, customer segmentation, competition leading to a price optimization. And this conversion probability is only marginally impacted by this price, while the net profitability of the airline is increased by the 28 euros. Let's take another example. In this case, this is airline B, like Bravo, which is using dynamic pricing. Airline B has a booking class open with a profiled price point of 780 euro, which is at the expensive end of the offering. At the same time, it has the worst product in terms of connection. The conversion probability of such offer is very low. Consequently, the air dynamic pricing system recommends to lower the price by 9% to significantly increase the conversion rate. The system would have inferred from historical data that a percentage of leisure travelers would always choose the cheapest price despite a lower product quality. It is worth highlighting that such decision to lower the price does not go against the midterm revenue optimization, as the price decrease will never undercut the revenue management bid price. Consequently, the airline has been able to convert profitably a shopping transaction which would have gone very likely to the competition otherwise. As we talk about revenue management optimization, I'd like to share how Scandinavian Airlines has been able to achieve an estimated 1% revenue increase by using a new demand forecasting method which reacts more quickly to changing market conditions. It is named Active Forecast Adjustment and is being rolled out to Amadeus Revenue Management Airlines. Because of the significant uncertainty about customer demand, airlines needed a demand forecast that would be able to capture the demand pattern based on as little as few months worth of historical data or live sales data. Amadeus forecast model is a representation of the customer demand. It depends on parameters such as volume, seasonality, day of the week, special events, booking curve, willingness to pay. And to calibrate this model, we need a full year of departed flights to estimate the parameters. We also use live sales data to adjust to volume fluctuations. And under normal conditions, this approach performs very well. However, due notably to the crisis, the historical database no longer represents the future customer demand. So here, the novelty of AFA is to split the forecast parameters into two groups. For example, we expect seasonal demand variation, day of the week pattern changes to be unaffected, while total volume, booking curves, customer willingness to pay are expected to change drastically. And targeting only the affected parameters allows us to reduce the complexity of the calibration process, and we can estimate these parameters with only the most recent sales data and track the emerging trends. SAS has implemented this new model on close to 1,000 ONDs, representing more than 90% of their demand. This has enabled them to improve the forecast accuracy by 30% from the COVID-19 baseline. SAS believes such a technology will bring on a continuous basis a 10 to 15 forecast improvement, even under normal circumstances, yielding to a 1% revenue increase. And in addition to this revenue increase, this technology provides automation, enabling analysts to focus on more value-added tasks. To conclude, I'd like to emphasize that many solutions are today available to position airlines on the right path towards offer dynamicity. The crisis forced us to think differently and accelerate the development of some functionalities, while at the same time develop new ones, which are proving to be instrumental not only for the recovery, but also on the long term. First, thanks to the technology and the science, by enhancing the core forecast with, for example, active forecast adjustment in revenue management, as just explained, as well as continuing the fundamental research to continuously improve our core algorithm and get ready for the move to offer science, including product dynamicity. By also focusing on the deployment of dynamic offer pricing for seats, as well as ancillaries, taking into account the current IT environment of airlines and fostering the adoption of new standards. And then by also building a platform to integrate faster our partners. Volantio is, for instance, enabling airlines to quickly implement post-booking revenue management practices very well integrated in the Amadeus ecosystem and very relevant in the current conditions. Yet technology and science, even artificial intelligence, is not everything. So we are ensuring we have a strong team of industry and revenue management experts dedicated to our offer optimization customer, both during and after the implementation of those solutions. We are supporting all along the airlines in adapting their organization, their way of working, to be better equipped to run their business. So to summarize, we are working with our airline partners to understand their challenges and the best way to evolve our solution to support them to deliver value as swiftly as possible. And if you want to know more on some of the solutions I introduced today, especially the SAS case study we published last week together with Scandinavian Airlines, you can access additional contents in the Amadeus virtual booth, where this presentation will also be shared. Also, you can subscribe to the Amadeus for Airlines LinkedIn account to get posted with the latest information. Now, it'd be my pleasure to answer any question you may have already posted in the Swapcar tool, or any you may have following this presentation. Thank you very much.
Welcome back from the break, and thank you to Amadeus and Benjamin for a fascinating keynote. Next up, we have industry veteran Dieter Westerman, and he's going to be moderating our panel on new approaches to revenue management. He'll be joined by Alex Manns, CEO of Flyer Labs, Connor O'Sullivan, Chief Product Officer of Datalex, and John McBride, Vice President of Travel Product Management at Pros. As if being grilled by Dieter wasn't enough, we also have Tomasz Pędzik, Executive Revenue Director at Lot, Renato Bellomo, Revenue Management Director at Goal, and Sebastian Touraine, Head of Dynamic Offers at IATA, to provide their perspectives on where the next evolution will take us. As always, please remember to submit your questions for our panelists via the Swapcard platform. Following immediately after the panel, Alex Manns of Flyer Labs will be staying with us to talk about the real-world results of their AI-based approach.